Good morning. In the last lecture, I think we have completed one unit, Schrodinger equations. In this chapter, we studied time-dependent form of Schrodinger equation, then probability current, then expectation value operators, steady state form of Schrodinger equation, and eigenvalues and eigenfunctions. We have completed one complete unit in the last lecture. Hope I am clearly audible to you in all the video lectures. One thing, this board is also clearly visible to you. These things are very important. Clear audibility in the video lecture and clear visibility of the board. These two things are very important. I am trying to make these things as clear as possible. But if you find that there is not good clarity of the audio information, there is not good clarity of the visibility of the board, etc., please let me know, because these things are important. If these things are clear in your video lectures you are watching, you can go through as many times you require to understand the concepts, the derivations which I dealt in various video lectures. Please let me know. You may please write me about this. Hoping that the first chapter we completed in the previous lectures are understandable. You got all the things clearly. If you have any question, any ambiguity, feel free to ask questions. Now let us move to the next unit, and next unit is applications of quantum mechanics. Next unit is applications of quantum mechanics. The first article is one-dimensional box. Next unit, applications of quantum mechanics. First article, one-dimensional box, energy quantization. We are going to consider motion of a restricted particle, because in quantum mechanics we are interested in the study of stable systems. In stable systems, we have various bound particles in motion. Various particles are there which are in restricted motion. and here we want to study the energy spectrum of the particles which are in restricted motion. Let me consider one dimensional box. This is one dimensional box. The box starts at x is equal to 0, it ends at x is equal to L. This is the width of the box. Box starts at x is equal to 0 and the one dimensional box ends at x is equal to L. So, capital L is width of the box. Inside the box, the potential energy V is 0. Inside the box, the potential energy V is 0. Outside the box, the potential energy is infinity. Outside the box, the potential energy is infinity. So, let me consider such one dimensional box. Width of this box is capital L because it starts at x is equal to L, it starts at x is equal to 0 and ends at x is equal to L, and therefore width of this one dimensional box is capital L. Potential energy of a particle restricted to move inside this one dimensional box is taken to be 0. We have one particle, this particle is placed in this one dimensional box and that particle is set in motion. We have one particle, that particle is placed in the one dimensional box and it is set into motion. Motion of this particle is restricted. Let us see how motion of this particle is restricted. The particle can move in between x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L. The particle can move only along x direction from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L. Here we have a potential wall, here we have a potential wall. Here we have a wall, here we have a wall. Here we have one wall, here we have other wall. This wall is such that potential energy outside the wall is infinity. Potential energy outside the wall is infinity. So, for x less than 0, V is equal to infinity. Also, for x greater than L, V is equal to infinity. And this V is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L. This box is such that for x less than 0, V is infinity, x greater than L, V is infinity. So, to the left side of the box, potential energy is infinite. To the right side of the box, potential energy is infinite. That is, for any x coordinate smaller than 0, x less than 0, potential energy will be infinite. Any coordinate x greater than L, potential energy is infinite. And whenever the particle is inside the box, of course the particle should be inside the box because motion of the particle is restricted so that it is allowed to move inside the box only. its potential energy inside the box is 0, potential energy outside the box is infinity, and therefore the particle is restricted to lie and do the motion only inside the one dimensional box. It is not allowed to come outside the box. Actually, the particle cannot come outside the box. This is because potential energy is infinite outside the box, and no particle can have infinite potential energy. As no particle can have infinite potential energy, it is not possible for this particle to come outside the box this way, or it is not possible for the particle to come outside the box this way, and therefore the particle only lies inside the one dimensional box and it performs the motion inside the box only. Total energy of the particle inside the box should be constant, because these two walls are infinitely hard walls. These two walls, the wall at x is equal to 0 and the wall at x is equal to L, these two walls are infinitely hard walls, and therefore when the particle is performing motion along x direction, if it collides with this wall or with this wall, there is no loss of energy of the particle. If the particle gets collide with the wall at x is equal to 0 or with the wall at x is equal to L, there is no loss of energy of the particle. Its potential energy is 0 inside the one dimensional box. It is allowed to move only along x-axis between the limit x is equal to 0 and x is equal to L. The walls are infinitely hard, and therefore when the particle while performing motion gets collide with the walls, there is no loss of energy of the particle, and therefore the particle's energy performing a motion inside the one dimensional box is constant. Its potential energy is 0. What is concept of quantum mechanics about a particle in motion? Whenever a particle is in motion in quantum mechanics, a wave function psi is always associated with the particle. We can find the probability density square of modulus of psi. This will be 1 inside the box, because the particle is present inside the one dimensional box only. The particle cannot be present outside the one dimensional box, and therefore the probability density will be 0 outside the one dimensional box. That is, the wave function psi is finite, non-zero inside the one dimensional box for the particle in motion. At x is equal to 0 and x is equal to L, the wave function psi will be 0. Because if you are trying to move to the left of x is equal to 0, there is no particle. If you are trying to move to the right of x is equal to L, there is no particle, and therefore the psi function automatically becomes 0 at x less than equal to 0, x greater than equal to L. We have such a one dimensional box, and in this one dimensional box one particle is performing motion. Motion of this particle, its energy is always constant, not going to change with respect to time. Potential energy is always 0. Its kinetic energy will be always constant, because there is no loss of energy when the particle gets collide with either of the walls. Therefore, its energy is constant. It is invariant with respect to time. Potential energy invariant with respect to time. Kinetic energy invariant with respect to time. Therefore, the total energy is also invariant with respect to time. Because of this condition, we have to write steady state Schrodinger equation for motion of this particle. We have to write steady state Schrodinger equation for motion of this particle. For motion of the particle trapped inside a one-dimensional box. And the steady state Schrodinger equation describing motion of this particle in one-dimensional box will be general form of one-dimensional steady state Schrodinger equation. The partial differential dou 2 psi by dou x square is replaced by the total differential d2 psi by dx square, because in this case potential energy V is only function of position. It is not function of time. One thing. Second thing, inside the one-dimensional box, how is the potential energy? 0. Inside the one-dimensional box, potential energy of the particle is 0. So this V is 0. And therefore, for the particle performing motion in the one-dimensional box, equation 1 may further be written as equation 2 is required steady state Schrodinger equation which describes motion of a particle trapped in this one-dimensional box. This is simple differential equation. Solution of this equation is solution of equation 2 is equation 3, equation 4. Both equations 3 and 4 are solutions of equation 2. Even combination of these two, if we combine equation 3 and equation 4, this combination of equations 3 and 4 is also solution of equation 2. By back substitution of equation 3 or equation 4 in equation 2, you can verify that equation 3 and equation 4 is really solution of equation 2. Let us see whether it is correct. Here we have d2 psi by dx square. Let us differentiate equation 3 with respect to x to get d psi by dx is equal to a cos 2me divided by h cross square x into 2me divided by h cross square, or d2 psi by dx square is equal to minus a sin 2me divided by h cross square into, this is constant, let us consider as it is, into x. Differentiation of this angle, this whole is minus psi, this is in square root, this is in square root, 2me divided by h cross square. Put this value here. Here we have 2me by h cross square psi. This is what? Minus 2me by h cross square into psi is equal to 0. The same thing will happen. You can even verify by getting d2 psi by dx square for equation 4 also. You will find that this equation is obeyed by equation 3 as well as by equation 4, and therefore psi in equation 3 as well as psi in equation 4 is the solution of the steady state Schrodinger equation to return to describe motion of a particle restricted in one dimensional box. Okay, then let us come back to this equation. Let us come back to this equation, the second solution to equation 2. What is also equation? This one, the solution for this equation. Okay, this psi should be equal to 0 at x is equal to 0. This psi should be 0 at x is equal to L. This psi in this solution should be 0 at x is equal to 0. This psi in this solution should be 0 at x is equal to L. Let us see whether these two conditions are obeyed by this solution. If I put x is equal to 0 here, this angle will become 0. And what is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. So psi is b, not 0. Psi is coming b, psi is not coming 0. So for this psi to be 0 at x is equal to 0, we should have b is equal to 0. We should have b is equal to 0. It means that the second solution is true for this equation only when b is 0, both at x is equal to 0 as well as at x is equal to L. This solution as well as this solution should be true for this equation. Restrictions on this equation are the particle should lie and perform motion inside the one dimensional box only. It is not allowed to come outside the box, and therefore The wave function will be finite inside, finite and non-zero inside the one-dimensional box only. If you come outside the one-dimensional box, the wave function size should be 0. It means that the boundary conditions set for the one-dimensional box, set for the particle inside the one-dimensional box should be satisfied by this solution as well as by this solution. Then only this will be the true solution, this will be the true solution for this steady state Schrodinger equation. What we found in second equation, this psi will be 0 at x equal to 0 and at x equal to L if B is 0. If it is not so, this psi in the second solution will not be 0. Let us go to the first solution. For x is equal to 0, this angle will become 0. What is sine 0? Sine 0 is 0. It means that this psi is 0 at x is equal to 0. In the first solution, the wave function psi is 0 at x is equal to 0. Let us see what will happen at x is equal to L. If x is equal to L, this angle will become square root of 2me divided by h cross square into L. We want sine of this angle should be 0. What we want? We want psi is equal to a sine 2me divided by h cross square into L is equal to 0. When x is equal to L is taken. This wave function psi should be 0. This is true only when square root of 2me by h cross square into L is equal to either 0 or not need to consider, but L is not 0, so there is no need to consider 0. Pi, 2 pi, 3 pi and so on, that is equal to n pi. Equation number, let me put it 5. Psi is equal to 0 when x is 0 for first solution, but when x is equal to L, to have psi is equal to 0, this angle should be either pi or 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi and so on, or in general this angle should be equal to n pi. If this angle is equal to n pi, then only psi will be 0 at x is equal to L. These are the boundary conditions set on the wave function psi. If these boundary conditions are fulfilled by the wave function psi, then only this will be solution for this steady state form of Schrodinger equation. Otherwise, it will not be the solution for the steady state Schrodinger equation. It means that certain restrictions are put on the, whenever certain restrictions are put on the particle to satisfy the solution, restrictions are also put on the values of various parameters the particle is having when it is moving inside the one dimensional box. Let us see what restriction is put. To see the restriction put on the particle so that these two solutions will be true for this equation. Let us simplify equation 5. To simplify equation 5, square both the sides, so it will be 2me divided by h cross square is equal to n square pi square, or in general En is equal to n square pi square h cross square divided by 2m, equation number 6. Yes. So, when the restrictions are put on the particle in one dimensional box, these two will be solutions to the equation, provided that energy possessed by the particle performing motion in the one dimensional box should be given by equation 6, and here n can have only integral values. Here n can have only integral values. N can have value 1, can have value 2, 3, 4 and so on. Because what angle we need? Either pi or 2 pi or 3 pi or 4 pi and so on. And therefore values of this n are 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Integral values. It means that energy of the particle in one dimensional box is quantized. This is known as energy quantization. The particle is not allowed to have any energy. You cannot supply any energy to the particle if you want its motion in the one dimensional box. If you want the particle to perform the restricted motion. If you want the particle to perform restricted motion, you cannot supply any energy at random to the particle. The particle can have only these energies given by equation 6, where n can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and so on. This n is known as principal quantum number corresponding to various energy levels, and the energy will be decided by various energy levels. If n is 1, the energy of the energy level will be E1 is equal to pi square h cross square divided by 2m. N is 2, E2, energy of second energy level will be 4 pi square h cross square divided by 2m. N is equal to 3, E3, energy in the third energy level will be 9 pi square h cross square divided by 2m. It means that whenever we set restricted motion for any particle, the particle is bound to have only quantized energies. Whenever we have bound motion, whenever we have motion of a bound particle, whenever we have motion of a restricted particle, such particles are allowed to have the energies given by equation 6 only. Energies of such particles are quantized. Such particles are not allowed to have any energy. It means that when we apply quantum mechanics to the motion of any restricted particle, its energy will be always quantized. This result is inherent in quantum mechanics, and there is no counterpart for this result in classical mechanics. In classical mechanics, whenever a particle is performing motion, any energy can be supplied to that motion. That particle can have any energy. Energies the particle can have are not restricted at all in case of classical mechanics. But in case of quantum mechanics, the energy will be quantized if restricted particle is performing motion. If you have a bound particle and if it is performing motion, if it is in motion, its energy will be always quantized. It cannot have any energy. It can have only those energies allowed by equation 6. It can have only those energies allowed by equation 6, and therefore the energy quantization is inherent in quantum mechanics when we study motion of a bound particle, when we study motion of a restricted particle. Now one more thing, this particle in quantum mechanics is not allowed to have zero energy. Restricted particles in motion in quantum mechanics not allowed to have zero energy. In classical mechanics, zero energy is allowed. In quantum mechanics, zero energy is not allowed. What is meaning of zero energy? Meaning of zero energy is the wave function psi is 0. Where it is 0? The wave function psi is 0 inside the box. Wave function psi is 0 inside the box. It means that the particle is not present in the box, but the particle is there inside the box. If the particle is there inside the box and it is performing motion, its wave function should not be 0. Its wave function should be finite. If the particle has a finite wave function associated with it in the one-dimensional box, its energy could not be 0. It will have certain finite energy allowed by equation 6. And this statement is also supported by the uncertainty principle. E is not equal to 0 for a particle in motion, for a restricted particle in motion in quantum mechanics. This statement is supported by the uncertainty principle. I have given two statements of uncertainty principle in one of the last lectures. Let me write one of them. Delta P into delta X greater than is equal to H cross. Delta P, uncertainty in the measurement of momentum of the particle. Delta X, uncertainty in the measurement of position of the particle. And product of these two uncertainties should be always greater than is equal to H cross, where H cross is H divided by 2 pi. What is the width of the one-dimensional box we considered in this article? It is L, capital L. So what may be the maximum uncertainty in the measurement of the position? Capital L. So I may write this equation further as delta P into L greater than is equal to H cross, where this L is taken as maximum uncertainty in the measurement of position of the particle in the one-dimensional box of width capital L. Or this may be for the delta P greater than is equal to H cross divided by L, equation number 7. What is meaning of this? Uncertainty in the measurement of momentum of the restricted particle in motion is given by this equation. Not allowed. Delta P is equal to 0 is not allowed. If energy of a particle is taken 0, momentum will be 0. But uncertainty principle does not allow the momentum 0. When the particle in motion, its momentum could not be 0, and therefore its energy could not be 0, and therefore this equation does not allow 0 energy to the restricted particle which is in motion. This equation does not allow 0 energy to the particle set into motion in the one-dimensional box. We may come back to this equation for delta P, and we may further write this as P1 is equal to plus or minus 2m E1 inside the square root, and that may be equal to, this h cross square can be sent to this side, this will be n, it will be plus or minus pi h cross 2me divided by h cross square is equal to n square pi square. But we know general equation for momentum is P is equal to 2me inside the square root. So this h cross square sent to this side, square root of both sides is taken, n is equal to taken 1. So what we have here, P1 is equal to plus or minus pi h cross. P1 is equal to plus or minus square root of 2me1. If this is 0, the first energy is taken to be 0, momentum will be 0, but this equation does not allow the momentum to be 0. As this equation does not allow the momentum to be 0, uncertainty principle does not allow the momentum to be 0 for the particle performing motion in the one-dimensional box. 0 energy is not allowed. The minimum value of momentum for this particle in one-dimensional box is given by this equation. P1 is equal to plus or minus square root of 2me1 or plus or minus pi h cross. So this is about one-dimensional box energy quantization, meaning that whenever we have a particle performing motion in one-dimensional box, it will become a bound particle. It will become a restricted particle. For all such particles which are restricted to do their motion, for all such particles, energy spectrum is always quantized. Energy spectrum is always discrete. Okay, and therefore this is the expression for energy quantization of a particle confined inside one-dimensional box. So this is the first article of the chapter, one-dimensional box energy quantization. Hope you got it. Thank you.